I'm here to share with you all about academics and how to help your students succeed as far as academics are concerned when they come to UW-Oshkosh. One of the first things that I really want you to emphasize with your student is that if you can help them learn about how much time they need to study, because studying at high school is substantially different than studying at college. We recommend 2 to 3 hours of studying per week per credit hour. So if that looks like your student is having 15 credits, then that's going to be a minimum of, would take 15 times 2 or 15 times 3. So we're looking at a minimum of 30 hours of study time per week. And that's going to sound like a lot of study time to your students, but a lot of what we're asking them to do is reading outside of the classroom and a lot of learning through reading. And I would also recommend that you talk to your students about reading before they actually go to their classes. The second thing I'd like to talk about with you is structure. A lot of students come in and they don't understand how to structure their courses. In high school, their professors say, okay, today we're doing chapter 1, tomorrow chapter 2, then we're going to take a quiz. And so the structure is all laid out and they're consistently reminded of that. In college, that structure is also laid out, but it's laid out on what we call our syllabus. So having them take their syllabus and plan throughout the semester from day one when they get their syllabus, because the syllabus will even tell when the quizzes are, when the papers are, so then they could just read chunks of information, because when we take chunks of time to study, we find that we do more effectively. So if they can plan out, say, pages 1 through 5 this morning and pages 5 through 10 tonight, and then pages 10 through 15 the next day, so that they're always chunking the information that they're learning so it's easier for them to learn, and they have it all planned out through the beginning of the semester. So if you can help them with that and just get a planner, and they can do it now on their iPhones or on their mobile devices, there's a lot of really easy ways to do that. Screen time. As you know, the students often like to do a lot of texting and maybe Facebook, Twitter, different kinds of social media, which is wonderful, but some of the students I've helped, they'll bring in their computers and we'll look at stuff, and as I'm looking, their social media keeps popping up. And so it's those constant interruptions, and when the interruptions are happening, it's harder to study. So I say it's great to still do social media, it's great to still do texting, but let's put that aside when we're studying. And so leaving their phones or their mobile devices or their social media off while they're studying. The next one would be talking to their professor. A lot of students get worried about talking to their professor. Their professor is often like the President of the United States almost to them. And what I try to remind them is that the professor's here for a reason. They love students, they love teaching, they are passionate about their subject area. And so I just really try to take it down to that level. I have a niece who started college this last year, and she's called for advice both on herself and for a friend of hers that were struggling with a professor and how to approach the situation. And I will tell you that professors are a lot more open to talk, but you might need to talk and coach your student through how do you talk to a professor successfully. And if you don't know and they still need help, send them our way, because we're more than willing to help them here at the Counseling Center. The next one that I'd like to talk to you about is test anxiety. On our campus and lots of campuses nationwide, one of the #1 things that we find from research is students are having test anxiety that's making them, impacting their ability to be successful. When we give a student a test, the reason we're testing them is to see about their true ability in that subject area. So if they have anxiety, then we're testing their anxiety instead of their true ability. So it doesn't really measure their true ability. So we want to teach students really how to get a hold of their anxieties. And as you all know, that's going to help them in their professional life and in their career later on down the road, because they're going to be able to do that as well and manage those anxieties and perform in the way that they need to perform and be evaluated on their performance rather than their anxieties. There's also lots of test anxiety workshops, and we help with that in the Counseling Center, as well as other people on campus help with that. A lot of people look at test anxiety as just lack of preparation for the test, and if that's the case, we can also refer them down to the Reading Study Skills Center on campus, because that's an issue as well. But a lot of times what we see is it's the anxiety itself that needs to be helped and be controlled. The next thing that I'd like you to talk with your student about is major exploration. There's lots of different resources on campus available, but it's really important for them to get an idea of what do they want to do and why do they want to do it. What we talk about when I come in, or when they come in to see me, is a really good person-environment fit. So if they want to, say, work in a counseling center, they would need to really like people and really like helping people. So that's a good fit. And that's a good fit for the environment as well. So imagine if they went to work in a counseling center because that was something that they really liked, but that didn't give a good fit, then that environment's going to reject them. So that you want to really help your student look at that, and we can also help your student look at that. And the last thing that I want to talk about is reaching out to resources. I've mentioned a couple different resources that are available on our campus, but we have several if students are struggling academically. We have tutoring services, we have supplemental instruction, we have the Reading Study Skills Center where they can take courses on how to be effective at studying. We also have courses down our individual skill counseling down at our Reading Study Skills Center that's very helpful for students. Is reaching out to resources. I've mentioned a couple different resources that are available on our campus, but we have several if students are struggling academically. We have tutoring services, we have supplemental instruction, we have the Reading Study Skills Center where they can take courses on how to be effective at studying. We also have courses down our individual skill counseling down at our Reading Study Skills Center that's very helpful for students. And the last thing I'd like to tell you about is our academic checkup program that we have here at the Counseling Center as well. And the academic checkup program is if they're still struggling, they're doing all the right things, they can come in, we give them an assessment, and we look at what are the areas that they're struggling in, really at a detailed, fine lens, and we help them to be more successful. I hope that this helps you in getting your college student prepared.